I started the first race in 2019 and I was on the start line and I said, these were my father's words. He said, listen, you're not going to win the race. You've already won. You showed up. And that's what it's about.
Good friggin' morning from New England, folks, and welcome back. Today, we have from Seasons Corner Market, Sandy Delli Carpini. Am I saying that correct?
Yeah, you are. You
Wonderful.
are.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you
Thank
coming on.
you. Nice to see you again.
Yes, likewise. I know there are many people who are utilizing what I consider the best snack shelf of all the gas stations in New England.
That's what we strive for.
So Seasons Corner Market, I know that when people come by, they can see a lot of the history throughout your stores, including on the pump. And when you go on the website, you've been telling this wonderful story for years. But I would love for you to tell it to my audience. How did Seasons Corner Market get established in our beautiful New England region?
Well, my father came to this country and his parents lived in Rhode Island. They were from Italy, but they left him, which is like amazing to me, but they left him at 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they traveled to Providence and he came over when he was around 12 with his aunt who raised him because they never went back per se, but and he just tried to find his way, you know, growing up and what he needed to do. And he ended up in the Army, and he was a mechanic. He became a mechanic in the Army, and he worked on the Jeeps. So when he actually got injured when he was in the Merchant Marines, and he came back home. And when he did, he decided to open his own gas station. So, and it was on the east side of Providence. It was on, he had a couple before that, but the one that was his was on Angel Street and on the Brown University campus.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so he had that for a lease of 25 years.
Wow,
so,
no kidding.
Yeah, and it started off as an Atlantic Richfield gas station. That's what it was
Atlantic
called.
Richfield, okay.
And then it became Arco.
And then Arco, okay.
Yes, and it wasn't until he got his second store and, you know, in the 80s it became Shell. So that's how we began. And the whole family just dug in and helped him on his quest. And, you know, I've cashiered. I've done it all. Yeah. Basically, I've cleaned, I've cashiered,
So since you were young, you were already...
Oh, my goodness. My mom always took care of the paperwork. And I had my job when I learned how to write was to fill in credit card numbers. So when people used to get gas years ago and they used to use a credit card, it used to go through an imprint machine. And then we used to have these carbon copies and we'd have to separate them. And that was my job. And to write them in a form, 30 to a form. I remember this. And that's when you'd get the money back for these credit cards. You'd have to send them in, mail them in, and you get the money back. So I worked with my mom from the very beginning. And I did leave to go to college. And my father's business would grow. He'd buy a station, then sell a station. But we really had our growth in the mid to late 90s. That's when we saw the most growth. And that's actually when I joined the company because I wanted to have a family. And my other job, I was traveling a lot. So wanted to have my kids.
Yeah.
So, and I ended up doing everything my mom did until I had my children, because then she became the babysitter. Yeah. And I worked for the business. So, it was, and then Seasons developed in the 2012-ish. We needed to come up with a name of a brand because we felt like, well, there are a bunch of Shell stations. How do they know it's our Shell station? And how do I advertise? And how do I, get people to come to our stations? So my husband and I, we worked on a name. And I mean, people that went out with us, that's the first question. Okay, so now if you had to name a gas station, what would you name it? We just used to come up with all these ideas. And and then we finally settled on Seasons Corner Market. And as I wanted it to say New England.
Yes.
This is what I thought Seasons, because that's what we're all about with New England. It's about, the seasons, because that's what I love about this state,
I love that.
This whole thing is,
I love that.
I love the seasons. And Corner Market was a kind of a throwback. Like, let's be that place that people can rely on to go. And it's not just about the gas, but we wanted to make the convenience store, more than a convenience store. And like I had said, I traveled a lot in my prior job. And the thing that frustrated me more than anything was trying to find a place to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
In all these states, because
you
wanted it to be
you did
right, exactly.
Like,
and you're all by yourself, and and I wanted it to be clean,
exactly.
And I used to go by gas stations and see, well, now that one looks dirty, so.
It's very true.
My husband and
Great
I,
strategy.
we just talked about it, and we just said, what do we want? We want a safe place. We want it well lit. We want it that people can go in there and can feel like home. That was what our goal was. So that's why we came up with the colors and the flooring and the bathroom. In the bathroom, I said, no, I want this bathroom to be special.
The best bathroom around.
I wanted it to be so when people know if it's a Seasons, it's going to be a good bathroom.
That's right. I blame Hollywood for that, because they kind of took the gas station image and they were like, every horror film is going to start at a gas station.
Oh, absolutely.
And the bathroom door that doesn't lock.
Right.
And that's where the murderer comes in.
Right,
So
exactly.
It's great that you kind of took that and you completely flipped the script.
Right.
And, we had actually made some videos when I was doing the social media content with you guys. And it was the joke that we had come up with a few times was just how magnificent the bathrooms were. So kudos to you guys for thinking of that. Imagine that.
Yeah. And I also, convenience stores got a bad rap about the food.
Exactly.
Well, because there were so many out there that you'd have to dust off the Snickers bar or whatever candy bar you were buying. And I'm like, we will not have this. And we will not have milk that's, when you open the milk,
spoiled
and you can smell the milk that fell on the floor of the cooler. There were certain things that I wanted to have for our customers, and I wanted a selection, and I wanted to reach all different types of people. So have some healthy choices, and because that I could never get.
Right.
I'd be on the road and I'm like, I just need a snack, but I don't
want the Snickers right now.
Right,
I would
exactly.
love to have an apple or a banana or a sandwich, a salad even.
Exactly. So, and that's where, this is how it kind of evolved, was just through being out there and seeing what's out there. And other frustrations were when you get the gas pump and you go to put in your car, and then you get in your car and all you smell is gasoline because the handle was dirty. So we've made it that I want our employees to care about people like I would have wanted to be cared about when I was out there. So they feel like, wow, this is, they were nice to me and everything was fresh and it wasn't old.
Everything looked sanitary. And
right, exactly. And they feel safe when they go in there. So, and that's how it came up.
And New England has the demand that you have, because if you think about the seasons as a whole, I love that it kind of complements the region. When you go to all these different states where you're located, each store in each state kind of has a demand. So let's take Rhode Island, for example. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they're on their way to the beach. They want beach snacks.
Right.
So you have the sandwiches. They need waters and Gatorades and drinks. You have all of those. You also have coolers and ice. You have ice cream options.
Right.
You have a lot of different things that it's like, oh, I'm on my way to the beach. Oh, let's go to the grocery store. Don't have to. Hit Seasons, which is also a block away. Right. You can fill up on gas. It's a great demand.
I wanted a one-stop shop. I wanted people to be able to go to the restroom, fill up their car, and get what they needed to eat in one place, so they don't have to make multiple stops.
That's genius. I love it. Yeah. I love it. How many locations do you guys have now?
Oh, we have 70 locations.
70. And now, are you in every New England state, or is there one that you haven't gotten into yet?
Yeah, we're in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. We are not in Vermont And
Selfishly, maybe the best states. I'm just putting it out there.
but yeah.
And now when it comes to like, I'm just trying to understand the difference between like the Shell gas station and Seasons. I don't know if this is like how does that kind of work with the gas being like Shell and Seasons? Are you guys a separate entity? Are you guys together?
We're kind of together. I would say we're together.
Okay.
But not all Shells are Seasons.
Right.
But all Seasons are Shell.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the reason why we did that was because what we wanted was we wanted the store to say quality. So Seasons, you're going to know you're going to get, like I said, fresh items and clean, and you're going to feel very safe eating whatever is in that store. And well, then we wanted a good fuel that's going to match that, a quality fuel that's going to match it. And I know, I get it. Fuel is not loved by all.
Yeah, but it's needed.
Right. It's an evil necessity. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
So we try to make the experience as less emotionally harmful as possible.
Well, you've done a great job. And I will say too, that the one thing that I'd also like to compliment on is I've spent some time down in Florida. And if you spent any time in the South or literally anywhere outside of New England, you know that like the rest of the US takes their gas stations and their markets seriously.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like you can go and they've got full pizza shops inside. Right. They've got full like delis, and you're kind of like, what is going on? Like mine is normally like a 2x4, like little corner guy, and there's a guy behind it like who won't lift up the glass, and you're like going underneath. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Right.
Am I giving my money to the right person? So you guys have really brightened up and been the people who have paved the way for other gas stations and other markets in the area to start doing the same thing. So now what does that kind of look like on a bigger scale for you guys? How do you continue to grow this business in the region? Because
it's tough.
It starts as the market, but of course you have things like your corner market cafe as well.
Yes,
you also have some of your locations have car washes in them.
Yes.
How do you continue to expand? That must be difficult.
Oh, it's very difficult. This is the difference between the South and New England.
Yeah.
To get property in New England is very difficult.
Yes.
To go through, zoning and all of the legalities to put up a gas station is very difficult. It takes so many years for us to get through the whole process. So, we started off with ones that we had, and then we just slowly, that's why we've been growing, but very slowly, a couple a year, sometimes 3, but because it takes so long. And you go down south and there's nothing but land. So they can build these behemoths of C-stores, and they can put
40 slots of pumps and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
they
unreal.
can put, so many different things in them, but we have this small footprint.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And you'll notice that some of our shells are not Seasons, and there's a reason for that. Reason for Seasons. And it's because there's certain things we have to have in a season. So the footprint has to be a certain way. And if it's the lot is too small, then it can't be a Seasons. So we are kind of working on what can be our mini season, or,
Yeah, of course.
But we have been able to add corner market cafes to 13 of our sites.
Awesome. Again, a gas station with a coffee shop and pastries and bagels and sandwiches inside,
and it's
unheard of around here.
Typically
it's like inside of like a turnstile that's hot, and you're like, how long has that been
in there? Exactly.
But you've got full-on employees. You've got these wonderful options.
Right.
Well, how did that come about?
Well, again, it goes back to my father. Every day he used to meet his friends for coffee at 9:00 in the morning. They used to go to, a Panera, or it was different places. And, I had found that some of our coffee options were not at the standard that they used to be at. So I was like, oh man, I really want a really good cup of coffee. I want to get a latte.
Yeah.
I want to get, I know they're trendy, but I wanted that option. So that's what made us go to Corner Market Cafe, So I went out, and this was like right before COVID. So I'm tasting coffee at all these different places, trying to find the right bean and that I can have that. I don't like a bitter aftertaste. So I found it. And when I say we did our menu in 2019 is when we did our menu. Thank goodness, because 2020, we weren't doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
We opened up a store, but at the end of 2020, but we did not, we were not able to source anything further than we already had.
Right.
So, we came up with a menu, and I said, I want the options for everyone, from teenagers all the way up to grandpas. So they can get a good black cup of coffee if they want, or they can get a caramel macchiato if they want.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be a little bit less expensive than some of the people that have those options.
And people appreciate it.
Right. And we were able to do that. And I will say, I know it's my passion, but the quality of the food is so good. I taste everything. And even in the store, honestly.
Yeah.
When there's a new product out, I'm like, all right, let me taste it. And I'm like, and I've tasted some not so good things. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
the downside
yes.
of the business.
Absolutely. And some of the things I've tasted, and I'm like, well, is there a person for this? Are there people that would like this, even though I don't? So I try to keep an open mind on when I pick options. But yeah, we went through every recipe and we tweaked them, and we're still doing that today.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And of those 13 locations, are any of them drive-through, or is it all in-store? Okay.
There's more drive-thrus than not.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. And that's the other thing. I thought about moms. I had 2 kids.
Right.
So,
taking 2 kids out of the seat, bringing
right,
them in,
exactly.
the whole 9, you don't want
And
all
that's,
that.
yeah.
Then they're going to see the candy aisle as well,
and
then you got to deal with that.
And exactly. Yeah. So I wanted it to be that you could just pull through. I can remember my kids when they used to play baseball, and I used to say, oh my goodness, we have to get something in their belly before, because we used to go right after school.
Right.
And I used to say, I'd have to get them out of the car. We'd have to go inside. So I wanted options that I could just drive through, pick up food for them, and that's why the drive-thrus were essential. And now we're working through, this is kind of exciting.
Oh, excellent.
We're changing our register system a little bit so that when you go through the cafe, you can buy things that are in the store.
Ah, okay. There you go. So now it's like a drive-through for shopping,
right?
Which is kind of good, right? Because in
right.
the competitive market, you've got all of these delivery services now. So if you
Right.
can find a way to still keep yourself aligned with any competitors, so to speak, then that's probably it. I like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
A lot of these questions are really just me trying to figure out the best way to be efficient with my Seasons Corner Market visit.
Right,
So.
right.
This is like an off-ball question here, and that's because off-camera you guys can't see, but Sunny is imprinted on this wall here.
Right.
Where did the idea for Sunny the mascot come into play? And what is Sunny officially?
We don't know.
It's not an orange.
No, it's not an orange. We don't know. It was a squeezy toy that we saw, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's so cute.
Yeah. It's just funny because I feel like most of Rhode Island and New England, we don't really have a ton of sunshine all the time.
Right.
Or at least we do, but we
don't.
forget it because we complain so much about
Right.
the others.
Yeah, exactly. We forget.
Yeah.
Short memory in Rhode Island. But Sunny, I was thinking of seasons, and I says, oh, orange, could be like the sunshine. So that's where we came up with the name Sunny. Also, I will give a nod to my uncle that passed, and his nickname was Sunny.
Oh, that's
spelled
great.
differently, but it was my mother's brother, so we got a little.
That's awesome. My grandfather, who passed away before I was actually ever born, but my mother's father, his nickname was Sunny.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's
very
it.
cool.
Right.
Great nickname.
Yep.
So what I also would love to talk about is you have a very, very strong community footprint. You care a lot about where you live and the people in it.
Absolutely.
And you're always trying to give back. And Angels Giving Back is is it a nonprofit or is it a foundation?
It's a foundation.
It's a foundation. Okay.
Yes.
Now I would like to say I ran the 3K, 5K?
5K,
The 5K. I might have only done 3K, and I can't
Right.
promise I ran the whole thing, but it was a wonderful event. I would love, if you don't mind, kind of elaborating
I'd
on
love
what it
to.
is.
I'd
Tell
love
me
to.
the
I'd
story
love
about
to.
this and the meaning behind it.
Yeah,
and how people can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 2019 2018 into 19 that I said I want to do something for charity. So I want to come up with a foundation. And the name, I couldn't tell you how I came back with Angels Giving Back, but yeah, I could. My parents were gone, so they're my angels. And my father died of Alzheimer's disease. So I said, well, a portion has to go to Alzheimer's Society. My mother had a disease. It was not her cause of death, but she had polycystic kidney disease that many people do not know about. So I wanted a third of the money to go to them. And then both my parents had such a soft spot for children. So I decided on the Tomorrow Fund. So that's where the money goes. The net proceeds get divided every year between the three. So to the public, we have a 5K that's at Citizens Bank, the corporate bank in Johnston. So yes, it's 3 times around, but we don't care. You want to do it once, you want to do it twice. We're just looking for people to come. You get to meet Sonny.
Yes.
It's going to a good cause. You get a great swag bag.
Absolutely. Still got mine.
Not just a bag, you get a T-shirt, you get coupons, you get tons of food, snacks, of course. We have, we give away free ice cream. We give away, we usually have our Corner Market Cafe truck there. So we give out coffee and breakfast sandwich. You might want just to get a coffee and walk around a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's a family event. It's a lot of fun. And it's a great cause.
Yeah.
So
it's wonderful.
it's June 6th. It's a Saturday. Starting time is 10 a.m. But you just have to go on our website, angelsgivingback.com, and you can sign up.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Maybe the Sun New England podcast should be an official sponsor. We'll make a donation for the podcast for Angels Giving Back. That'd be a great way to do it. You will not see us running that. We will definitely be walking. We're going to be present, but we're probably going to be walking.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
RJ might try and run. That is a wonderful thing. And I think that for me personally, like, as someone who has been a content creator for a little bit of time now and been fortunate to have the audience I do, the charitable work is probably the most rewarding. And I'm sure you probably agree.
It is.
There's something about it that genuinely
Absolutely.
you cannot explain until you've started doing it and you find the ability to do it. And for any of those who are listening, this is your opportunity to come have a wonderful day for a wonderful cause. 3 great causes: Tomorrow Fund, Alzheimer's, and the
polycystic kidney disease.
I'm not going to try and say that word, but that one. Yes.
Well, why I went to the 5K as one of the charity events that we go and we sponsor is my father was a runner.
Okay.
And he started
What
running.
didn't he do? My goodness.
I know. He started running late in life, but he loved it and he got me running. So we did, I can't even tell you how many downtown 5Ks we did. And we used to do you're going to have to wait on this one.
There's quite a few. The Gansett was like the Blessing of the Fleet.
The Blessing of the Fleet.
Yes.
We used to do that one. So I've run that in his memory many times, but I started the first race in 2019 and I was on the start line and I said, these were my father's words. He said, listen, you're not going to win the race. You've already won. You showed up. And that's what it's about.
Love that.
Yep.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I got to think of that next time I try to be competitive. Wonderful. So I did hear you say something about, you have a coffee truck as well?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Is that just kind of make its rounds at random based on events you've got going on?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Can people hire you at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And where would people be able to do that? They go...
Well, go to our website, Seasons Corner Market, or Corner Market Cafe. We have a website for that too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Very cool. I did not know that.
Yes.
There's a fun little tidbit.
Yes. We go to Little Leagues, when they have the opening day. Yes, we do that. And we give away stuff. And we do Roger Williams Park when they have an event. and we give away stuff. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tough question here, but do you have a favorite location? I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure it's probably the next one, but
right.
but if you had to,
It was the one
choose-
right next to my house,
Yeah.
but right, not far from my house. It seems that whenever we finally get the approval and we build a station, we move. So this is what's going on in our life right now. But I would say, don't be angry with me, people. I feel bad for no manager. This is not. But I love Smithfield, and I love it has the Corner Market Cafe in it, and I love Plainfield Pike in Cranston because it has the Corner Market Cafe, and that piece of property was our corporate headquarters prior to this in Lincoln. So that there's a warm spot because of those reasons.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have not really fully comprehended that you are pretty elite when it comes to your marketing here. And I need people to understand that because there's not a lot of gas stations or corner markets for a better word there. And we worked together. This was like 3 or 4 years ago now, but we also shot the Rhode Island lottery commercial because you had so many cool options there. Because I need to get some last minute gifts. That was part of the joke.
Yeah.
So a lot of people had actually saw one. So that's where I shot that, by the way, folks. But the whole idea is a lot of, like, you think of Mobil, you think of Chevron, you think of all these gas stations, you just kind of like know what they are. But with yours, you've taken like a strong stance on being publicly available to people by not only telling your story, but you're on the news, and you also have the really cool modern screens that tell your story and tell the promos, offers up the news and traffic. What were some of the thoughts behind that? Because not everyone, I mean, imagine that's probably like an extra investment to get the nice fancy screens on there.
Yes, it is. It is. And I wanted a way to communicate with our customers. And I didn't want it to be like advertised. I know we advertise the specials on there, but I wanted it to be.
They're good specials.
They're great specials.
No,
they are.
You guys helped me get a lot of my notoriety because people are like, are you the guy that yells at me at the gas station?
Yes, that's what everybody says.
You got to go inside and get your Mountain Dew. They're 2 for $10, whatever, 2 for $5.
Right, exactly. And we wanted not just to, like I said, not to just reach out to our customers and try to sell something. We also wanted them to have, we do word of the day, or we do something funny, or we do the weather, because these are things that people may not have had a chance to look at. And it gives them those options.
Because how many people at the end of the day, it's like they're driving home, they're like, okay, I almost got an empty tank.
Right.
I'll do it in the morning. And then in the morning comes, you're like, oh my God, I forgot I need to get gas.
Right.
Catch up on all the things. And you guys are very transparent about when you're hiring and you're looking for people who are looking for work. You're transparent about the pay, which I think is great.
Yep.
And those opportunities are, right there. So I'm sure that's probably done wonders for getting the right quality people that you're looking for to come in and work. So
yeah, absolutely.
If people are looking for work by chance, where would they find job opportunities within
Seasons Corner Market.
Right.
.com, yes,
.com,
and it's employment. Yeah, it's we're a family. This is a family business. No matter what people believe, this is a family business, and we treat everyone like part of the family. We do. We have a Christmas party for our managers. We have, I think, we give away prizes and they have incentives, and there's a lot of positives working. And I keep hearing it from people. They're just so happy, and they'll say, "Oh, when are you going to come visit my store? Oh, when are you going to bring Sonny?"
Yeah.
And, they love it.
That must be very rewarding in the position that you're in. So, again, you're doing great for the community by providing career and job opportunities. Right. And there's job advancement too, right?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
You can work your way up the ladder. What about if you're going to work, if you work at the, let's say, stocking shelves or working at the pumps and checking people out over the counter. What about working at the Corner Market Cafe? Is that a different type of job that you apply for?
It's a different type of job. You can be a barista. You can be
That's the word, barista. I couldn't think of it. I'm just used to the drive-thru.
Yeah. So you could be a manager. You could be a district manager. We have our director of operations started off driving tow trucks for us. And now he's the director of operations. I have the director of marketing. He started off as a store manager. So there is plenty of room for growth, and we're always looking for people to, and we believe that you need to work in a station to understand.
Right.
No matter what job you're going to have, you need to have worked in a gas station to see what the day-to-day these people go through. Because it's not easy.
Right.
Let me tell you, I've done it.
Yeah.
It's not easy. People are wonderful sometimes, and people are not so wonderful sometimes. So it's a lot. And I don't know if you saw the news when we had a little segment on it about our managers and cashiers and assistant managers, and how I wanted to let people know that I know we consider frontline workers to be, the police, the fire departments, the nurses, the doctors, and absolutely they all are. I worked in a hospital. I know everyone that works in a hospital, frontline.
Yes.
But they forget that it's also the cashiers.
Absolutely.
And the managers that are running these stores, because they're the ones keeping the store open. And the cashiers are behind there helping people. So when the storms hit this year.
54 inches of snow we got this year.
Our cashiers, I know. Thank God summer's coming.
Yeah.
Our cashiers, I was just amazed. And my heart was warmed by what they did. They thought this whole thing out, and they said, something, people need us. And they brought blow-up mattresses, and they brought things to sleep, blankets and stuff. They stayed in their stores for like 48 hours.
Holy smokes.
Because there was a travel ban. So they came in on the Sunday. The travel ban was the Monday.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave till Tuesday. And there were police officers like, oh, thank goodness there's someone open.
Right.
And
because they need to get coffee and gas and a snack, and they need to be able to survive their 48-hour shift.
Exactly. And the tow truck driver, the plow drivers.
Yes.
And I was just so proud of our employees and what they did.
That's really, really cool. That's
so
a great
that I
story.
get to talk about it on the news was like, yes, you are that important. I felt that way when we went through COVID. These people were there.
Always open.
That's it. We had to be. So, and we said, as long as they're there, we're here. So we're going to make sure that we come to work every day. And that's who we are.
I love that.
Honestly.
That's something I honestly never thought about, because, you have the luxury of just going and getting your gas, and you don't think about, oh, wow, there really is a storm going on. I didn't think about the individual who had to come to work today.
Right.
You get so caught up in your own everyday stuff. So very, very cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. That's a great story. I hadn't heard that yet. So thank you very much for sharing.
No problem.
All right. So obviously you call it Seasons Corner Market. Do you
Yes.
have a favorite season in New England personally? Do you like?
Oh, I love the fall.
You love fall.
I
That's
love
a common
fall.
answer.
Yeah, I love fall. It's sad because I know what I have to go through for the next. We all have to go through for the next few months, but I love fall. And but I always tell, like, my husband was complaining about all the snow and what we went through, and I said to him, "Don't worry. January is the coldest month. February is the snowiest month. March, not my favorite month at all.
Yeah.
But April, it all turns around.
That's
so
right.
we're only talking about 90 days. We can get through 90 days, and then it's beautiful. It's wonderful.
I tell you what, I love that sentiment. It would have done absolutely nothing for me when the snow was up to my shoulder.
Oh, I know.
But now that you say
Us
in
too.
retrospect, I'm like, yeah, no, this was easy. We made it through.
We
That
made
was
it through. We did. We did quite well, too. I think very quickly. It was amazing how quick we actually were on the road again.
Yeah, I was honestly pretty shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, selfishly, this is going to sound pretty arrogant, but as a content creator, I don't really have to go anywhere. Most
Right.
of my work is home. So I was not forced to the road, but I was pleasantly surprised. Like when I did go to make a, grocery run or anything like
Right.
that, I was like, wow, these roads are actually incredibly clear. So
It
kudos
was
to them.
amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've got a tremendous amount of potholes now, but
Right.
you give and you take in this state.
That's it. That's what we're pretty much used to that.
I'd love to kind of get your perspective, if I could quickly, on what it means to not only own a business, but run a business in New England. Like what it's like to have like the New England people, the charm, like I guess like what is the energy like being a New England business and like running one, I guess, from a business perspective in the sense of how hard it is. Like you survived COVID, you survived all of these things. And,
Right.
you know, compared to like the South and the West
right.
Coast.
It's not the easiest in this area. It isn't. And it has nothing to do with the people. Because I'm a New England, so I know it. I understand.
The people are the best part.
That's it. Absolutely. We say it as it is, and I love that.
Yes.
And I will tell you this story quickly, and I know
Yes.
it's going off a little bit by what you asked me.
No, we love good stories.
But I get to interact with a lot of people that have gas station chains throughout Shell gas station chains throughout the United States. And the first thing I get is they just kind of like back off, especially the Southerners. They just back off from me, and I'm like, understand why, you know? So, and then I made friends with someone, and then they have to tell people, no, she's nice.
Yeah.
No, she really is nice. Because everyone's afraid that, she just says, because I just say it as it is.
And that's why I have a podcast titled So New England. Because even in the gas industry, you say it like it is. And
it's true.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a Rhode Islander can go down south.
Yep.
This makes me think of Landman, and I just picture you in a room and everyone's afraid of you. And that's wonderful. And Billy Bob Thornton, he tips his hat when he sees you. So I love that you command respect like that.
It's pretty funny.
All right. So some New England questions specifically here. Do we have a favorite sports team by chance? Or if you could rank them?
Well, I like every team that's around here. I'm being politically correct.
That's
I know.
okay. You can be politically correct.
But I love.
I wasn't sure your dad's coming from Italy, so I wasn't sure if there was some sort of influence on you as far as like.
There was.
You come from Italy, most likely you become a Yankees fan. That's why I wasn't sure.
Well,
you're a Yankees fan.
That's it. And that was because of. It was an Italian, you know?
That's what I assumed.
I can't think of his name right now.
There's a lot of different ones. I don't know.
But he was on the Yankees, and he was very famous. So I can't think of his name. But
for me, growing up, it was like Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Babe Ruth,
me also,
all those guys.
Yeah. So I love the Patriots, though. I do.
There we go.
And it had not, it's with Brady, without Brady, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I love the Patriots. So.
Amazing. So we got favorite season is fall. Favorite team is the Patriots.
Right.
Now, if there was like one perfect day here in New England for you, what would that look like? And when we make our stop at Seasons on the way to whatever it is we're doing, what snacks and drinks are you grabbing?
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Snacks and drinks. Depends on how tired I am. If it's in the morning, I'm going to a corner market cafe and getting a cup of coffee at the minimum.
Just black coffee? Or do you have a
No.
specialty
I like
drink?
like a latte.
Okay.
I like a little coconut. I love a little chocolate.
Oh,
it's
chocolate
yummy.
coconut. Okay.
Yes.
I like it.
And our donuts are really good.
Ooh, don't tell me that. I just told you I'm on a diet, Sandy. Dang it.
I know. But
Fine,
they're
I'll swing by
really
after.
good. Salted caramel is so good.
Oh, man, that sounds delicious.
But and if I was walking by the cooler, I like, the healthier ones. I like Celsius if I need energy, for Celsius. I'm a huge water drinker, so any water will do. Alani's good. So snacks. There's so many snacks. Again, I'd go for the healthier ones because we have some really unique ones that I like. And we have some incredible protein bars. Our protein bars are really good. And I love Built protein bars. They're taste like you're eating a piece of candy. So I'm all good with that. Now, what does my day look like? Oh, I'm by the ocean. There is no doubt. I am an ocean girl through and through.
Love it.
I love to be near the water. It just brings me such joy.
Sandy getting sand between the toes.
That's
there you
it,
go.
all
With
the
her
time.
Celsius and
That's
her
it.
coffee and her caramel donut. Wow, this sounds like a good day. You're going to the beaches in Rhode Island, or are you?
Rhode Island.
Didn't know if you traveled up to Maine or anything.
I love Maine. I have to pick a favorite second state, maybe Maine. It's tough because there's some cities and towns in Massachusetts that I love.
Yeah.
So it's
hard
really
not
tough.
to. It's hard not to love New England.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to love Seasons Corner Market.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the So New England podcast. Anything last minute or anything else you got coming up that you'd like to share with the audience so that they can be on the lookout for? Or Angels Giving Back
Angels
is what we're
Giving
focusing
Back
on.
is like
June 6th, guys.
Yes,
10
my
o'clock
focus.
start, 9 a.m. registration, I'm imagining. Come in, get your
you
bib.
can do it you do it online
Oh,
and
awesome.
you get
Look at that. Don't
nice
even
and
have to do
easy.
that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any chance those caramel donuts will be at the little coffee truck
There
you
could
got?
be a very good chance that they'll be
Special
there.
request. Anyone wants to join me for a caramel donut before our 5K, you let me know.
That's
and
it.
where can everyone find you online? Just Seasons Corner Market?
Market.com. Yep.
Awesome. And that's your social handle as well. Instagram. Are you on TikTok at all?
I think I am, but I don't usually
Partake in the market. I gotcha.
I don't.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude the Business Spotlight featuring Seasons Corner Market. So next time you are hungry for a snack, you're looking for a coffee, and you need some gas, you know where to stop.
That's it.
Until next time, guys, remember, life's better in New England.
Red Sox crack and the Celtics fly. Patriots fight.